What's good people, and welcome to the Silly, Nerdy, Sometimes Wordy podcast, and I'm your host, BK, and this is episode 55, Wicked Part 1 Spoiler Review. Wicked Part 1 Spoiler Review. And in this episode, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on a spoiler review heavy of the movie Wicked Part 1 that has just released this week. Okay, what's going on, everybody? I hope everybody is doing very, very well. I know it's been a bit of a time since I've been on. Early September was the last podcast I released. Happy to be back doing another podcast. Was really excited about this film and that just released. And let me just preface it and give you a warning. This is going to be a spoiler review, meaning I will be talking about things that has happened in the movie. And so this is your warning. If you have not seen the movie yet, I advise you to stop this podcast, go and see the movie, come back and give me a listen. This is your warning. Of course, if you don't mind spoilers, then hey, stay along and keep on this ride with me. But this is your warning. You've been warned. Okay, we're just going to get right into it. I'm not going to have any nerdy notes on this episode. And yeah, so this is Wicked Part 1. Of course, this is based off of the popular Broadway show Wicked, which I have seen about 3 or 4 times. One of my favorites. Love this show. Glad to see it on the big screen. I just saw it, and I really enjoyed it. This film is directed by John M. Chu, and the cast includes Ariana Grande, big time singer, Grammy nominated. I think she has a couple Grammys as well. She plays Glinda, the Good Witch. And Cynthia Erivo, she plays Elphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West. And Jeff Goldblum plays the Wizard. Michelle Yeoh plays Madame Morrible. And Peter Dinklage of Game of Thrones, Avengers, and many other things, he plays Dr. Dillman, the goat that is the teacher, professor. And yeah, I really enjoyed this film. It took them a couple years to make this film. I'm not going to go in any particular order. But overall, I enjoyed it. I'm definitely looking forward to part 2. I guess I'll start from the top. In terms of how the film started, interesting choice. I would say they chose to start this film. It was, I would say, a long open in terms of the way they're telling the story backwards. And also they kind of explain, what happened. There's reference of Dorothy, pouring the water on Elphaba, on the Wicked Witch. You see the hat and a little bit of the smoke and the water and some of the house. So that is pretty much reference. And then there's a quick shot that's also that's shown in the trailer, and it's very quick, but you see the 4 comrades in terms of walking down the yellow brick road from the original house, the 4 comrades. So there's a quick shot of that, but Glinda is telling the story backwards and saying, hey, this is what happened. The Wicked Witch is dead. Everybody's dancing and happy. And that all takes place. That's about 10 to 15 minutes. That's a long open before you get to the opening credits of, Universal presents Wicked. You get the title card. So that was a interesting choice. They chose to do that. And the way they get into the story, before she's like, okay, I have things to do, things to attend to. Somebody from the village said, hey, did you know her? Or was it true that you were friends? And then she says, yes. And then she said, our cross paths. And then that gets us into the story. And then she explains it. And then that's how we go to them, being in school and Glinda arriving and into the story we go. So interesting choice in terms of how they chose to open it. But, it was a little bit long, but understandable. Moving on, I want to talk about the casting in this. I thought this was good casting. Specifically, I want to speak about first Jeff Goldblum. He's had a long career. I thought he was perfect casting to play the Wizard, just based off the roles that he plays and the personality that he brings to everything, even the apartment.com commercials. But I thought it was perfect casting, as well as casting Ariana Grande. I think she kind of stole the movie for me. Cynthia Erivo, she was great as well. Her vocals were great. Everybody's vocals were great. But in terms of when, obviously, they weren't singing, the acting from Ariana Grande, the quirkiness that she played and just the jokes and the comedy, everything hit well for me, and the movement and the little bit of physicality that she brought to it with her comedy and the timing. I really enjoyed the way she portrayed her role and the way she executed it, what was given to her by the writers. Everybody else was great as well. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed that, and like I said, I think Ariana kind of was the one for me, as well as Cynthia and Goldblum as well. All right, next I want to get into the story beats. Obviously this film is based off the stage, the play of Wicked. What happened before Dorothy got there and poured the water on the Wicked Witch. And for the most part, this story kind of goes beat for beat of what the story is, what you see in the theater. There was a few, I won't say not much differences from what I've seen and what many of us have seen on the play. It was just interesting, as well as obviously the music. I did enjoy the obviously the music, which I'm going to talk about as well. The music and the score, I guess that kind of go hand in hand with the story and the music. The transitions in and out of song and performances I thoroughly enjoyed. And the themes you heard, you knew everything in terms of just hearing that again. It just brought me back to being in the theater, and almost at the end of every song, I kind of wanted to clap, because that's, what you do when you're in the theater. You end the song, you clap, you move on to the next scene in the theater, but obviously you can, but I didn't do that in the theater. But yeah, the music in here was great. The performances were great. The choreography was great. I feel like I've noticed a few new choreography numbers in there as well, which were really great. Really enjoyed. And just hearing all those same musical beats that's in the play, really enjoyed it, especially when the company came in and there was harmony. It was so good. Really enjoyed it. The score and everything, all the big ones, Popular Song, the one at the very end, which they saved at the very end, right before the credits went off. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love the play. Like I said, I've seen it 3 or 4 times, and every time it comes back around, I definitely try to go see it. So yeah, I really, like I said, I enjoyed the music. The story was, like I said, pretty much beat for beat. Even if they even got the story about, you know, the animals being able, eventually not being able to talk, getting that particular storyline, which it is in the play, and they got that in the movie. And the way they executed it was, like I said, it's pretty much the same thing you would see on stage. All the different story beats they pretty much got, and then the friendship that became the friendship, and then obviously the split at the end, and the love story that's kind of budding, and yeah. So I think I pretty much covered everything I wanted to cover. I guess the last thing, the ending, I thought they would save going to Emerald City for part 2, but that was in this film. But obviously those parts of Emerald City was in the trailer as well. So the way the story ended, I thought that was a perfect end. I feel like that's a good point, because the way the first act of the play ends is kind of how the way the movie ends, where they have to go search for her and she's kind of slandered and everything. So I thought it was a perfect ending, and it obviously makes complete sense that there is no post-credit scene in this film, because we all know how the story, well, most of us know how the story ends if you've seen the play, and you know that the movie is going to be next year. I believe it's already been filmed, and the release for part 2 will be out in November, around this time in 2025. So therefore, no need for a post-credit scene. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, the music was great. Hearing it again brought me back into the theater, hearing all the popular themes, the songs. There was a few new songs in there, I believe I heard as well. The choreography I enjoyed, and the ensemble cast, everybody else, I enjoyed them as well. So definitely check this out if you're a Wicked fan. I think you'll enjoy it, the music, if nothing else, for the music. And that's all I have for this episode. Like I said, I really enjoyed the movie. Looking forward to seeing part 2. Gotta wait till November 2025. So we'll see when that comes back around next year, around this time. But I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed listening to my description of it, and hope you enjoyed the movie and go see the movie, or go see it again. Yeah, that's all I have. Please go ahead and check me out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. You can search it on YouTube. You can hear the audio, as well as iHeartRadio podcast, and wherever you get your podcasts. Please check me out. Give me a like and subscribe, and all that good stuff. Hope you learn something, and that's it for today. And until next time, we will talk soon.